Laziness is not merely a failure to act. It is a silent thief that robs you of your potential, your time, and your life's meaning. When you succumb to laziness, you're not simply indulging in rest. You're allowing your future self to carry the weight of your neglected responsibilities. It's a subtle betrayal, a slow erosion of your character and your capacity to become who you're meant to be. But where does laziness come from? It's not just a matter of being idle. It often hides something deeper. Laziness can be a mask for fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, or even the fear of success. It can stem from a lack of direction, where the sheer enormity of life's possibilities overwhelms you, paralyzing you into inaction. Understanding this is the first step. You cannot fight what you refuse to face. Laziness is often misunderstood as mere idleness or lack of willpower, but beneath its surface lies a complex web of emotions, fears, and unresolved conflicts. To overcome it, you must first understand it. Laziness is rarely about not wanting to do something. It's about what's stopping you from acting. It can be rooted in fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even fear of success. These fears whisper insidious lies, convincing you that doing nothing is safer than risking disappointment or rejection. But safety is an illusion when it keeps you stuck in the same place. Every time you avoid action, you reinforce the idea that you are incapable or unworthy of growth, and that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Sometimes, laziness arises from a lack of clarity. When you're unsure of what to do or overwhelmed by the enormity of a task, it's easier to do nothing at all. The mind craves direction, and in its absence, it defaults to distraction and avoidance. But clarity doesn't appear out of thin air. It is created through action. Even small, imperfect steps can light the way forward. The more you act, the clearer your path becomes, and the less room there is for laziness to thrive. Laziness can also mask a deeper sense of despair or hopelessness. When you feel like your efforts won't matter or that you're stuck in a situation that cannot improve, it's tempting to give up before you even start. But this is a lie that keeps you chained to mediocrity. Every small action, no matter how insignificant it seems, carries the potential to break those chains. The act of trying, of moving forward, even a little, proves to yourself that you are not powerless. Understanding laziness requires compassion for yourself, but it also demands honesty. You must face the uncomfortable truths about what you're avoiding and why. This is not about self-pity, it's about self-awareness. When you identify the roots of your inaction, you gain the power to pull them out. Laziness doesn't define you. It is a habit, a pattern, and like any pattern, it can be broken. To understand laziness is to understand that it's not an enemy, but a signal. It's a call to look inward, to address what is holding you back, and to take responsibility for your own growth. The truth is, you are capable of far more than you believe. Laziness is not a permanent state, it's a challenge to overcome, a mountain to climb, and every step you take toward understanding it brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Every moment you spend standing still while knowing you could move forward comes with a cost. It's a silent price, not always obvious at first, but it accumulates over time until it becomes unbearable. Inaction may feel safe in the moment, but it's a thief that steals your potential, your growth, and your future. When you choose to do nothing, you're not simply preserving your current state. You're letting opportunities slip away, eroding your confidence, and reinforcing the very fears that hold you back. Time is unforgiving. It moves forward, whether you act or not. And every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. The dream you've been putting off, the skills you've been meaning to learn, the relationships you've wanted to nurture, they all remain stagnant, unrealized, and incomplete. You might tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow often turns into next week, next month, or even never. The cost of inaction isn't just the loss of time, it's the loss of who you could have become. Inaction is not neutral, it's a choice, and it's one that breeds regret. Imagine looking back on your life and realizing that the only thing standing between you and your dreams was your hesitation to take the first step. That thought should light a fire within you, because regret is far heavier than any discomfort you might face by taking action. The pain of trying and failing is temporary, but the pain of never trying at all lingers forever. Doing nothing also impacts your sense of self. When you avoid challenges or refuse to engage with life, you send a message to yourself that you aren't capable, that you don't matter, or that your efforts won't make a difference. Over time, this erodes your self-esteem and creates a vicious cycle, where inaction feeds self-doubt, and self-doubt feeds more inaction. To break free, you must understand that every action you take, no matter how small, is a statement to yourself that you are capable and worthy of growth. Life rewards movement, not perfection. You don't have to know every step of the journey, and you don't need to have it all figured out before you begin. The simple act of starting creates momentum, and momentum brings clarity, opportunities, and strength. Every time you act, you diminish the cost of inaction and invest in the life you're meant to lead. The question is not whether the cost of inaction is real. The question is how much longer you're willing to pay it. Taking responsibility is one of the most transformative decisions you can make in life. It is the act of stepping forward and claiming ownership of your choices, actions, and circumstances, rather than waiting for someone else to fix them. It is not a burden, as many might fear, but a privilege, an opportunity to shape your own destiny and rise above the challenges that seek to define you. Responsibility is the cornerstone of a meaningful life because it forces you to confront who you are and what you are capable of becoming. When you embrace responsibility, you begin to understand that your life is not a series of random events, but a reflection of the decisions you make. You stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and start recognizing the immense power you have to change your circumstances. It's not always easy. It demands effort, discipline, and courage. But it is the path that leads to genuine growth. By taking responsibility, you take control, and with control comes freedom. Responsibility requires you to confront the uncomfortable truths about your life. It asks you to acknowledge where you've fallen short and where you've allowed fear, laziness, or doubt to dictate your actions. But this confrontation is not meant to shame you. It's meant to empower you. Owning your mistakes doesn't diminish you. It makes you stronger because it gives you the chance to learn, to adjust, and to grow. Responsibility is not about perfection. It's about progress. About being willing to do what's necessary to move forward. There is immense strength in responsibility because it gives your life structure and meaning. The weight of responsibility might feel heavy at first, but it's the kind of weight that builds character, resilience, and confidence. When you carry responsibility, you learn to stand tall, to weather storms, and to push through adversity with a sense of purpose. It's not a punishment, it's a privilege, a way to contribute to the world and to become someone you respect. Responsibility is also contagious. When you take ownership of your life, you inspire others to do the same. You become a source of strength, a model of perseverance, and a reminder that we are all capable of more than we think. This ripple effect can change families, communities, and even the world, because responsibility, once embraced, multiplies. So, the truth is, no one else is coming to save you. No one else can live your life for you or carry your burdens. But the beauty of that truth is that you don't need anyone else to. You are enough. You have the strength, the will, and the capacity to take on what needs to be done. Embracing responsibility is not about adding weight to your shoulders. It's about finding the strength you didn't know you had and using it to create a life of purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. Change doesn't come from grand, sweeping gestures. It begins with small, deliberate actions. It starts when you decide to break free from the patterns that have kept you stuck, no matter how insignificant that first step might seem. The cycle of inaction, procrastination, or self-doubt thrives on inertia, but it's not unbreakable. Every small, intentional move you make is a crack in that cycle, a sign that you're refusing to be defined by it any longer. The beauty of small actions is that they're achievable, no matter where you are or how overwhelmed you feel. You don't have to have the perfect plan or see the entire path ahead. You only need to focus on the next step, just one thing you can do today to move forward. It might be as simple as setting a goal, organizing a space, or dedicating 5 minutes to something meaningful. These actions may seem trivial in isolation, but their power lies in their consistency. Over time, they compound, building momentum that carries you further than you ever imagined. Small actions are also acts of defiance against the voice inside you that says it's too hard or you can't do it. Each time you take even a tiny step, you prove that voice wrong. You're showing yourself that you are capable, that you are in control, and that progress is within your reach. With every step, you weaken the grip of fear and doubt, replacing them with confidence and resilience. These small actions have a ripple effect. The effort you put in today, no matter how modest, sets the stage for bigger changes tomorrow. They create habits, and habits create transformation. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, and what once seemed out of reach starts to feel inevitable. Progress isn't about leaps. It's about steady, relentless movement in the right direction. When you break the cycle with small actions, you take responsibility for your growth. You stop waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances, and you start creating your own momentum. This is the essence of personal transformation, not waiting for change to happen to you, but actively pursuing it, one step at a time. The smallest of actions can have the greatest of impacts when done with intention and consistency. Don't underestimate the power of starting small. The most significant changes in life don't happen all at once. They're built brick by brick, moment by moment. And every small action you take is a declaration that you are not bound by the past, that you are willing to fight for a better future, and that you believe in your ability to change. This is how you break the cycle, not by waiting for inspiration or perfection, but by choosing to act right here, right now. Discipline is often misunderstood as something restrictive, something that takes away freedom or limits joy. But the truth is, discipline is not a cage. It is the key that unlocks your potential and gives you true freedom. It's the ability to act with purpose, to stay focused on what matters most, and to build a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Discipline isn't about denying yourself. It's about choosing a higher path, one where you control your impulses instead of being controlled by them. When you cultivate discipline, you free yourself from the chaos of inconsistency and indecision. Without it, your days are dictated by fleeting desires and distractions, pulling you in countless directions and leaving you feeling lost and unfulfilled. Discipline is what allows you to take control of your time, energy, and focus, ensuring that your efforts align with your goals. It transforms your intentions into reality and helps you break free from the cycle of procrastination and regret. Discipline gives you the power to say no to what doesn't serve you so that you can say yes to what truly matters. It's the foundation of self-respect, because every time you choose discipline over convenience, you're proving to yourself that your dreams and goals are worth the effort. You're showing yourself that you have the strength to persevere even when it's difficult. This builds confidence, resilience, and a sense of accomplishment that no shortcut could ever provide. True freedom is not the absence of constraints, it's the presence of self-mastery. Discipline gives you the ability to make choices that align with your long-term vision rather than being a slave to short-term temptations. It liberates you from the guilt and frustration that come from giving in to distractions or neglecting your responsibilities. With discipline, you're no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or fleeting emotions. You become the architect of your own life. The freedom that discipline brings is not immediate, but it is enduring. It requires effort, consistency, and sacrifice. But the rewards are immeasurable. It gives you the capacity to pursue excellence, to achieve what once seemed impossible, and to live with purpose and integrity. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up day after day and doing the work even when it's hard, because you know that every step you take brings you closer to the life you want to create. When you embrace discipline, you embrace freedom. You free yourself from the limitations of doubt, laziness, and distraction, and you step into a life of intention, progress, and fulfillment. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Discipline is not your enemy, it's your ally, your strength, and the foundation upon which your best life is built. Discipline is often misunderstood as a restriction, but in truth, it is the ultimate form of freedom. Laziness might feel like freedom in the moment, but it chains you to mediocrity and regret. Discipline, on the other hand, liberates you. When you build habits and routines, you free yourself from the chaos of indecision and procrastination. You create a life where you don't have to rely on fleeting motivation because you've trained yourself to act regardless of how you feel. So how do you kill laziness? Start by being brutally honest with yourself. What are you avoiding? What are you afraid of? Identify it, name it, and confront it. Then take action, no matter how small. Don't wait for inspiration or the perfect moment. Act now. Build habits, create routines, and hold yourself accountable. Laziness thrives in the absence of purpose, so fill your life with meaning. This isn't about perfection. You'll slip up. You'll have days when laziness creeps back in. But resilience isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Every time you choose action over avoidance, responsibility over comfort, you strengthen your ability to resist laziness. The world needs what only you can offer. You have talents, insights, and potential that no one else possesses. But laziness will steal those gifts from you if you let it. Don't let it win. Take the first step. Break free from the grip of inaction. Commit to a life of purpose, discipline, and growth. It's time to kill your laziness and take control of your destiny. The choice is yours and the time is now. This is your big win. The choice is yours and the time is now.